They said the Melungeons were gone, that they had been swallowed by time, by disease, by history. But the truth is, they were never gone. They were waiting, watching, buried deep in the folds of the Appalachian wilderness, in a place where the trees breathe secrets and the ground remembers blood. It began with the fog, not the kind that drifts lazily over mountain ridges at dawn, but a thick, suffocating mist that seemed to crawl up from the roots of the earth. Sheriff Kyle Danner saw it first when driving down Route 12 on his way back from the Harlan County line. The fog was so dense his headlights couldn't cut through it, and the radio spat static like angry whispers. He pulled over, heart thudding. He wasn't a man prone to fear, but something about that fog made his skin tighten. Then he saw them, figures half shadow, half man, watching from the tree line. Their eyes glowed faintly, not with reflective light, but with something ancient and knowing. They vanished when he blinked, but the dread remained. That was 3 weeks before the first body turned up. A hiker, out for Knoxville, found near Devil's Backbone Ridge. What was left of him, anyway? Torn to shreds, flesh gnawed clean off the bones. No animal could have done that. Not like that. The coroner vomited during the autopsy, said the cuts were ritualistic. Human. Whispers started. Locals talked in hushed tones at the diner at the gas station. Old stories resurfaced. Stories of the Melungeons, a lost tribe darker than myth. People with olive skin and piercing eyes who came from nowhere. Some said Portuguese. Some said Turkish. Others swore they were something far older, predating the Cherokee, predating the Shawnee. They lived high up in the hollers, isolated, untouched by time. They spoke in a tongue no one could place, sang at night, lit fires that burned blue, and left offerings in the woods. Dolls made of bone and hair, jars filled with teeth and blood. In the 1800s, they were chased out, or so everyone believed. Some said the fires were lit one last time. The songs sung backwards, curses laid in stone. The Melungeons vanished, but the land was never the same. Cattle stillborn, crops withered, children went missing. Carl didn't believe in ghost stories, but as the disappearances mounted, 2 more hikers, a teenage couple from Harlan and a local priest, he couldn't ignore the pattern. Especially when every scene had the same sign, a twisted symbol carved into the earth, 3 spirals interlocked like a knot of snakes. He brought in Callie Travers, a folklorist from Kentucky State University. She had fire-red hair and a mind sharp enough to cut through legend. She'd heard of the Melungeons, even studied their oral traditions. But what they found in the hills didn't match any documented ritual or known language. It was darker. In a cave system beneath Devil's Backbone, they found the entrance to something old, older than any settlement. Walls marked with pictographs not found in any indigenous archives. And bones, thousands of bones. This wasn't just a tribe, Callie whispered. It was a cult. The deeper they went, the stranger it got. They found an altar made of fused animal and human skulls. Candles that still burned with no wax. A pool of black water that pulsed, as if breathing. And then, they found the book, bound in stitched leather, brittle with age. Its pages were written in a language no one could translate, but the drawings spoke enough. Sacrifices, transformation, communion with something that lived beneath. They left that night, but something followed. Kyle started dreaming in a language he didn't know. He saw the tribe in his sleep, dancing, bleeding, chanting. They wore masks made of bark and teeth, and their god was a twisting shadow with too many eyes. When he awoke, he found symbols carved into his chest. Callie disappeared first. Her apartment was ransacked, her walls covered in charcoal sketches. The last message on her phone was a voicemail of whispering voices, layered and echoing. Then the town started changing. People heard singing in the woods. Cattle died again. Children woke up screaming. Fog returned and stayed. Electricity flickered. Phones went dead. Roads cracked and shifted as if something beneath was moving. I'll try to warn the state, but no one came. The town was quarantined under the guise of a chemical spill, but those inside knew the truth. Something had woken up. At night, the singing grew louder. From the hills, from the trees, from inside the earth. The people of Larkspur Hollow locked their doors, but it didn't matter. The Melungeons had returned, and they wanted their blood tied. They weren't human anymore, if they ever were. Their eyes glowed brighter now, their bodies stretched in unnatural ways. They walked without sound. They moved like smoke. One by one, the townsfolk vanished. Some screamed, some followed willingly, drawn by the singing. Those who resisted were marked. Their skin turned black as ash. They burned from the inside. Kyle made his last stand at the old church. He rang the bell until the rope snapped. The sound echoed over the hills, but no help came. Only the fog and the figures. The last thing he saw was the god, rising from the earth like a tower of bone and shadow, crowned with antlers made of people's arms. It opened its mouth, and inside was more mouths, screaming, chanting, then darkness. They say no one lives in Larkspur Hollow now, but sometimes, on moonless nights, travelers say they hear singing. And if you follow it, the fog will find you, and so will they.